Alright, this is my Atlas lathe. It's a 10-inch lathe, model TH42. And I mounted a DRO on it. So I'm going to try to get through this on how I did it really quick before I put the covers on. My pedestal to hold the display is just bolted up right here. And I actually had this piece already made for another, well, it was for a birdhouse holder, but I had it, so I used it. And then just welded. Well, I'm not a welder, so you're going to see that in a second. Right there to mount this. And I like having this open because I have a lot of other modifications I'm going to be doing to this. And I'm going to need this opening right here to mount another display, which I'm just going to use this box right here that I dug out of a trash. And I'll be able to run the wiring right up through the bottom. And this stand that it's on has holes in it. This is not a factory stand, so the wires can all get ran right through there. I'm going to drill out a hole at the bottom to run them up through here, right through the tube. And originally, oh, my bad. I was thinking about just mounting it right here, but I don't like the idea of everything being right over my workpiece. So I am gonna build another bracket out and just mount it off to the side, you know, so I can swing it back and forth just like the display on the DRO. The X-axis wasn't really so bad. On my lathe, it was a pre-machined hole back here, probably for an attachment of some sort, but it was a 1/2 inch 13 thread, so I just put a Allen socket or bolt in there and drilled and tapped through the middle of it to be able to mount the DRO down at this end for the scale. And then at this end I had to make a spacer to bring it back out, and I shimmed it just to get it set right. And this is this little piece right here. I had to make this, and it bolts right through to your original cover that goes on your compound there. And I drilled and tapped it, and I actually this is not my first attempt at a DRO at all. That one down here is, which actually worked great, but I had a treadmill track that I cut down and had it sprung at the backside or the backside, so as it would move forward and backwards, it would just pull it and cover it. And I had little side plates made, so that's actually what I'm still working on with this one. But before I start covering it all, I just wanted to show what I did to it. And when I made that piece, machined it out, I also left an opening so I can adjust the gib if I need to. And I did the same thing for this one, which would actually need a custom socket deal made up. Not really custom, but just a socket with a screwdriver through the middle, and you can wrench it back and forth to lock it in, because there's no way to get a wrench in there. But there is on this side. So anyway, here's the clearance that I had. And originally I didn't want to make it with 2 plates. I should have just made it with 1, but then I had a problem with my spacing, which I still have. I'm gonna end up cutting my guard down, but the guard actually comes in over here, and it's now hitting these new spacers that I just made. So I need to cut off probably about 1/4 inch from the bottom of this all the way down the whole length. Yeah, and at this end down here, I had to drill and tap a hole into my bed, and I just used the 1024 bolt, so I didn't go in super deep with it. But yeah, this machine is no longer a purist machine, I guess. So the connecting rod right here, I made that out of a pretty heavy steel. I think it was almost 400 thousandths thick when I started, and I drilled and tapped through there. But that's the only thing holding this on right now, and it's not really a big deal. I have a milling attachment that I put together up here. So here's why it's kind of a big deal, because I'm going to be taking this on and off when I go from this attachment to my tool post holder attachment, and it all lines right up with everything. But I think I'm not going to put too much more time into this part because I am actually going to make a whole new compound for this, so I won't even need this milling attachment set up anymore. I'll buy another one and have that one mounted right to it, and I'll also have a place to mount my tool post holder down at the other end of it. And I'm probably going to lengthen the screw on it so I can get just a little bit more travel, and also hopefully keep this all covered when it's exposed like that. I don't like the chips getting down in there. Which also, for the front of this, I'm not like really good at doing, like the heating and bending and all that, but this is gonna get drilled and tapped, or not drilled and tapped, just drilled, and it's gonna line up with these holes, and it's just gonna bolt right into it and keep it pretty secure as well. And I'll have a couple holes drilled out on the sides to go through this little piece right here, and that way it'll hold the whole thing in. Now, this piece right here, I drilled and tapped through each side, and I have a 10-inch 24 as well going through each side with a nut to lock it in. So I just bring it in on this side until it's snug, same thing on that side, and get it snug, and then I lock it all in, so this thing does not move at all. And what else did I do? I'm not a welder at all, so I already think I said that maybe, but you can see another reason why I'd want to go with a 1/2 inch thick on this plate. When I welded this angle plate right here up to it, it actually pulled pretty hard, like to the left here. So you can see the difference when the scale is actually lined up. So I had to make another spacer down here. And that worked out great. Everything lined up perfect. Especially, well, I made this spacer down here also tapered at this angle right here. I can't remember exactly what it was. So it's locked in pretty square, even though it's like not square. Let's see. What else did I do? Okay. I did shave just a little bit off of the nut down in here. I don't know if I can get to it. Let me bring it out further. Okay. So if you can see the nut in there, I had to shave just a little bit off the bottom, so that would actually have clearance for this feeding all the way in and out, or when I have to swap out the attachments. That way I don't have to disconnect the entire DRO every time I do. All I have to do is remove this top piece and the connecting rod. When I put the tool post compound on here, I just do the same thing, lock it down here, and of course run another quick sweep with the indicator to make sure that that's all still squared up. But like I said, I'm not going to be putting too much more time into it, because one of my next projects will be making a T-slotted table for this. So other than that, I think that's about it. now I'm just gonna get working on these covers. But all right, thanks.